Hello, 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 hello. Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Absolutely. So we got a new format for the show, which is pretty cool. I have this new toy. It's called a Roadcaster. And it's a soundboard, so I can put all kinds of sounds in here. What do you think about this?
Wow, it's very nice.
Very nice.
Hey guys, my name is Dan Durant, and I'm the host of the Tech Lounge. And here we discuss topics related to business technology and cybersecurity. Welcome everybody to the show. Today, we're going to discover the history of hacking and hackers. You know, we know cybersecurity is very important and it's very serious. It's a very serious topic, right, Andrew?
Absolutely. Very much so.
But sometimes you need to kind of let go and make it a little more entertaining, and that's exactly what we're doing for you. So we're going to be talking about hacking in terms of pop culture. So hackers, hacking, the history of hackers. We're going to show you some videos that are pretty cool videos. We're going to laugh. So that's the key of the show today. And remember, we stream live every Friday on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and we are also on podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, TuneIn Radio, etc. All of those podcasts out there. And so now just sit back and relax. This is the Tech Lounge. Hold on, wait. Thank you. All right.
Oh,
Enough.
man.
Enough
They
with
should have
that.
never gave you that.
We have here in the house the cornerstone of Be Wired. Gladstone Yamasepor, G Money in the house. Hello, G Money.
Hey, G Money.
Hey, guys. How you doing? It's good to be back.
Love having you.
And of course,
appreciate it.
And of course, we have our co-host extraordinary, the Rock of Rhino Cybersecurity and Be Wired Technologies, our superstar, Andrew Summerton.
Hey, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, enough sound effects now. So, Andrew, give us the lowdown while we're doing this show.
Sure, absolutely. It's really important, guys. So much has been happening in the world, and you've got all kinds of news being thrown at you. And obviously, cybersecurity is very, very near and dear to us and very critical globally. And with so much going on, you're hearing things in the news, too, about cyber attacks and, cyber events and hackers and what's going on. And the reality of it is we just wanted to share a little bit of insight on what that means, what hackers mean. The reason I'm dressed like this, not everybody's a hacker that's sitting in their basement in the corner with their hoodies on, their dark sunglasses, trying to hack people and cause mayhem. There's a history of hacking, and a lot of it, as from that, great things have happened and a lot of bad things have happened. And so we're going to have some fun with it today and just shed some light on it, and hopefully you learn a little bit from it. So that's what we're doing today. So my disguise can kind of come off at this point now, because I'm not just a guy sitting in a corner hacking.
Yes, absolutely. So we had a little problem. Like, some of our channels were not we were not streaming to. So, but now we are. So
should I put my thing back on then? Should I pretend I'm a hacker again?
Sound effects. This is a new toy that I have, Roadcaster, a soundboard. So I'm just having fun with it. All right. So okay, let's get to the crowd. Gladstone, please.
All right.
Tell us.
Okay, we have Sydney. She says hello. Thank you, Sydney, for joining us. Nice to see you again. And who else do we have here? We have Kevin, fam. Hello, Kevin. Kevin's my homeboy there. Nice to see you, bud.
Hello, Kevin.
All right, we got Oscar Garrido. He says, hello, guys. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you too, Oscar.
It's very nice.
It's very nice, indeed. I love that.
The comments are going to be halfway through the show. Can you stop playing with your toy, Dan?
Well, give me a second here.
I'm joking. I love it.
We got so much love. Kai says hello. And we have Aura Rosanna. She says hello. Lots of love. Sean D. Sean's in the house.
Hello, Sean.
Happy Friday, Sean.
I think I'm going to get back to character. I like being in character. Hey, everybody. I'm going to be in character for a
Gabriella
little while.
Julio says hello.
All right.
Sonia says hello as well.
Hey.
Great, great. So we're going to watch a few clips. We're going to talk about the history of hacking. So let's get right into it. So, do you know where the word hacking and hackers and hack came from? Does anybody know?
I remember, if I remember correctly, and it's probably wrong, but I'm going to give you my thought on it. It used to be actually a positive word, because if I remember correctly, when people were very educated in the computer space and computer technology, they were considered hackers. But I don't know if that's true or not. That was what I understood. So maybe shed some light on that.
I think that's one of the versions. Oh, before I forget, I mean, we're completely changing the format of this show. So before I forget, I have a couple of 3 jokes for you, right? So
Oh.
how about I'm going to put these jokes on the screen, and you tell me the answer for them. So
Okay, perfect.
yeah, the first one. What was the hackers rehabilitation meeting called?
Rehabilitation.
Anonymous.
Yeah.
Anonymous.
Was that it?
Anonymous.
Well, there you go. Nice.
All right. Second one. Let the crowd answer the questions, please.
Okay.
Let's-
Okay. My
this,
bad.
this is not for you guys. This is
It's not about me. I'm sorry.
How did the hacker escape?
How did the hacker escape?
All right, so we're looking for crowd engagement now, guys.
Come on, guys. Everybody watching.
This question. How did the hacker escape?
They're thinking. Don't think too hard, guys.
Hacker escape through a firewall.
All right, I'm going to give it to you.
All right, please put us out of our misery, Dan.
He ran somewhere.
He ran somewhere.
Very nice.
The firewall. We got Alex saying the firewall. Okay,
We
but
did
okay,
have some
perfect.
answers
Yeah,
here.
he went through the port.
Okay, show the answers. Show the answers,
Yeah,
class, just to see who was answering this question.
You ran somewhere.
Firewall.
Oh,
That's
man,
pretty
I'm
good.
having issues with my mouse here. Sorry, guys.
He went,
He went through the port.
Yeah, nice.
Very nice. Alexis said the firewall. I don't know if that'd be a wise decision.
Okay. You probably hit yourself with it, but that's okay. Okay, last question.
All right.
Here it is.
Here's the joke.
What's a hacker's favorite brand of sportswear?
Adidas. Reebok.
Just taking. Yeah, you're very close.
Nike reboot.
That is hilarious.
You're speaking out loud.
I'm thinking out loud here, guys. Sorry. I'm influencing your thought process.
Anybody?
I'm not. You got us, Dan. You got us.
Okay. Adidas.
Adidas.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice.
All right, so those are my 3 questions, 3 jokes, of course. Every
dad jokes.
We're gonna do this dad jokes because this is a family show, right? So that's what we gotta do, right? So I want you to go back in time, and I don't have the kind of magic spell sound here. I want you to go back in time to a place where can you guys hear my echo?
Yeah. No, it's okay. It gives a much more theoretical.
That's fine.
Take a spelling. All right. Okay. So the word hacker actually came from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, the big MIT in the 1950s.
Okay.
So it was 1955. And what happened is it had nothing to do with computers, right? It was actually Mr. Urkel's requesting that anybody that works on the or hacks on the electrical systems to turn off the power to avoid a fuse from blowing. So they were talking about kind of trains and things like that they were working with, and he was talking about working and hacking into it. So that was kind of like where the word started, and then from then on, people started using the word hacker.
You said Mr. Urkel. Are we talking Steve Urkel? Or who are we talking about here?
But boom. I knew that was coming.
Serious question.
No,
Seriously, I don't think
his,
so.
his name is Mr. Eccles. He was a professor at
Oh, Eccles. I thought you said Urkel. My
yeah,
bad.
and he was like, guys, if you're hacking into this, please turn it off so the fuses don't blow off, right? So that's pretty much it. That's where the work came from. And then if we go back, if we go actually a couple of years later, there was this thing called phreaking. Does anybody know what phreaking is?
This is a family show, so I'm not.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to comment on that one.
I'm gonna give you an applause for this one. Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. Yes. There you go. There you go. Good one. Good comeback. So
All right,
yes,
crowd. What do we have?
phreaking was the art of hacking into phone lines. Right. So this is before computers again. And what happened is
Right.
this is a really
know
cool
that.
story. So John Draper in the 1950s, like late 1950s, he discovered that by whistling, he could hack into a phone line. Right. So he would pick up the phone, right, and then he would whistle, right, like that, and then that would prompt some sort of message from the phone company to the phone. So then he discovered this by guess what? His nickname is actually Captain Crunch. Back in those days, Captain Crunch, the cereal, would have toys inside of the cereal. So when you open it, you get a toy, right?
So, yeah.
And one of the toys was a whistle. And he would use that whistle to whistle into the phone lines and get a response from the phone. So then he became Captain Crunch, basically. Of
So what did it do, Dan? Like when they whistled, because I remember the story actually. Did it activate like the ability to connect for free or something, or what did like?
he discovered a flaw in the system. So he
Right.
couldn't believe that the phone systems out there would communicate to each other on commands based on tones.
Sound. Okay, tones.
Toot,
Right.
toot, 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 toot. It would mean, please give me access to this. So
Right.
he invented this machine called the blue box, right? And the blue box was basically a keyboard with different tones, right? So by using different tones, like say star 59, 35, hash.
Tone sequences kind of thing.
Right.
Exactly. Tone
Yeah.
sequences. He discovered that he could do a lot of things. So he started writing a book about them. And then they would just get together into like these little groupies, and they would go out into the phone lines and start hacking people and getting calls for free and all over North America. It grew to this like a pretty big group. It was in the news in the 1960s, and they had this they were phreakers conferences where people will interchange codes and all of that. So that's Captain Crunch.
Huh.
Wow.
John Draper, one of the first hackers out there. Obviously, of course, before it was nerds just trying to fool the system and do like trivial, very inoffensive things, not like today, right?
Right.
That's the story of
Kind of how it
John
started.
Draper.
I didn't know about the Captain Crunch aspect, but that's where the whistle came from. Because I did know about the tone in the phone system, but that's really really cool. That's nice.
Yeah, and then we have, for example, Kevin Mitnick. Kevin Mitnick in the 1980s, right? So
Yeah.
he's actually the most famous hacker in the world right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely, everybody recognizes who Kevin Mitnick is, and he hacked into Bell, for example, Motorola, Nokia, digital equipment, and there was a rumor that he actually hacked into the North American Defense Command, so the NORAD. He spent, I think, 5 months in jail or time served or something like that, and now he's a very prolific consultant.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's one of the directors or board of directors of KnowBe4, the cybersecurity awareness training, big company out of Florida, right? So that's another one. So this
Only 5 months he got for that?
yeah, I
Hacking
think not
I forget
too
the exact time, but he was very instrumental in the hacking world and very very public. And then now again, like a lot of criminals and hackers, and I'm not saying he's a criminal by any means, but at the time there was was confusion in what was happening. But they leverage his skill set to better and protect us now moving into the future, right? A lot of
now
that
he's a
happens a lot of times.
consultant.
He's now like a consultant. Absolutely, he's an expert in that industry.
Yeah, that this happens to a lot of hackers. They get caught, they spend time in jail, and then they kind of reform themselves, and then they go out and they work as cybersecurity analysts because they know that they're famous and they can make money out of it. But this is not the majority, right? Like the majority of
No.
hackers are just bad. It really depends on the type of hackers. We have anonymous, for example. These are hacktivists, right? So they have a cause that they are fighting for, and they're not they're bad but not bad, kind of.
So it's almost like an
Like
audition.
Robin Hood, a
It's like
blue
they're
got
almost
some.
auditioning. They're almost like auditioning to become, to work for the good guys, right? Showing them what they can do, and then they're like, "Hey, you can do that?
Are they the
Bring
are
you
they the
on board."
Robin Hoods? The Robin Hoods of the hacker world?
Exactly, exactly. Then we have the example of Kevin Paulson. So Kevin Paulson, he was a really smart guy since he was really young. He was, like he started messing around with computers and code and stuff like that, and getting into systems since he was really young. In 19, and this is 1990s, right? He did something kind of stupid but cool, right? So he hacked a radio station, right, where he was there was this prize. They had this huge contest in the Kiss FM from California. They had this
Okay.
huge contest, and they were giving out a Porsche 944
Okay.
in that
Wow.
show. So he was really hot for it. So what did he do? He
He hacked
hacks
and won.
he hacks the radio station, all the phone lines of the radio station, so he could be the one calling the radio station and win the Porsche.
That's crazy.
So did he win? Did he
Smart.
ultimately? I didn't know. I didn't hear the story. Did he win? Did he get it?
No, he went to jail.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, he pled guilty, and he was given, like time served. And this is the only case in North America where a hacker is actually given a lifetime ban from computers, basically. So he was given a lifetime ban from using any type of computers. Very weird, eh? And but then, he reformed himself, and now he's a journalist. He's actually working for a big cybersecurity magazine, so he's doing just journaling, as opposed to his crazy hacking activities. That's kind of like the history of hacking, and how started evolving from something so innocent as to, what you were saying, Andrew, playing around and being nerds and really smart people,
Yeah.
and doing jokes to each other and stuff like that, until
It became.
it became this, what it is now, which is pretty brutal, right? So, um, but you know what? I have a couple of clips, so let's see some engagement from the crowd. What are people saying? What do you guys
Any
see? What do you
questions?
think
What?
about all of this?
I
Questions,
saw that
Miguel had
McGill put.
anything like that?
Yeah, Miguel had
McGill
a
put something. What was that?
interesting comment. So he says, always remember internet rule number 36. Anonymous does not forgive. Ooh,
Ooh,
okay.
yeah.
Very nice, Miguel.
We don't
Ooh.
forgive. We don't forget. Right? That's kind of like what the end. And they're always like citizens of the world. Right? So you always start like that, a typical anonymous fashion, and they still now are actually anonymous. A couple of weeks ago, they declared war on Russia, right, in cyber, and they were able to actually take down a few things from Russia,
Hey,
actually.
Dan, we do have a question here from
Yes.
Oscar Garrido. So
Oh.
Oscar asked, "What is the dark web?" Ooh,
Oh,
Wow. Imagine. I'm gonna tee it up for you. Imagine an iceberg. Okay. And
Wow, it's very nice.
imagine an iceberg,
sorry.
and the tip of the iceberg, and that very nice, and an iceberg, just the tip of it is sticking out of the water. Okay, and that's the web. That's the world that we all see. But what really makes that peak so powerful is what's beneath the surface that you don't see, and that's the dark web. And it is a world within itself. And not to put fear, but that's reality. It literally is a world within itself. We, as a regular user of the internet and the webs, the web world, it's the peak we're seeing. The dark web is 100 times bigger underneath, creating that's I guess strength underneath, which is a bad place to be in a lot of ways. And maybe Dan, if you want to address it a little bit more than that, you know.
Sure. Yeah. So there's different types of layers to the web, and the dark web is basically communications that are encrypted online. For example, they're not accessed by the public, so intranets and things like that, where you know, but if you, so the dark web, so there's the public web, which we all know,
Right.
Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, going to websites. So that's kind of like the tip of the iceberg, as you're saying. Then there is the dark web. The dark web is not really a bad in itself, because it's just encrypted information that
Encrypted
is
info,
being
yeah.
passed from server to server. Let's say your bank account is under, encryption, and also authentication. You have to be authenticated to log into those. So that's kind of part of
That's
the
right.
dark web
See,
as well.
I'm
But
glad you mentioned that, Dan, because when I think of the dark web, I always thought about it being like, a bad place, like
The bad, but you're absolutely
said,
right.
right?
That's a good
Where there's a
point,
bunch of
Grayson.
hackers, like places like the Silk Road, you can buy information and learn
Silk
how to
Road,
do a bunch of terrible things.
yeah.
So I'm glad you clarified that. So it's not 100% malicious.
No,
Is
it's not
that
100%
accurate?
malicious, but then you start to get into the
Deeper,
deep
deeper.
web,
So
right?
there's levels to
There's
it.
levels. So the deep web goes a little bit under that, and that is where, things like Silk Road. Silk Road was a very famous underground marketplace that it's no longer in there. There's other ones now. I'm not going to mention them, but the deep web is where this type of activity happens, right? And you need to use a different type of protocol, or TLD, for that. The TLD is like the .com, the .net, the .org, right? So those are very well known TLDs for websites and domain addresses. This uses a special. The deep web uses a special um, TLD called .onion, right?
Okay.
So .onion. And how do you access that? Well, I'm going to tell you. Do not download Tor.
We do have a question
I was
about
going to
that.
say, throw this up. Throw Miguel's. Yeah,
Don't download
Miguel.
Tor
Okay,
browser,
Miguel.
and don't look for Onion websites.
So Miguel says, how safe is it to browse Tor networks using Onion? So
Oh, yeah, it's very safe. And that's why the deep web, or the dark web, which everybody calls it, it's so dangerous, because um, criminals, and not just criminals. Like, for example, if there is let's say there is a civil war in one of the African countries, or whatever it is, right? People that are trying to escape and try to communicate the what's going on in there, they use Onion and Tor to be able to communicate out, because it is safe, and they're not going to get punished by the government, because they won't be found. So it is not 100% a bad thing, right? So you have to think about both sides of the coin. A Tor network, the way it works is basically the way the normal things, or normal computers work, is that I have an IP address, and that IP address communicates with another IP address. So my communication is known to a certain degree, right? People are, like authorities, for example, are able to pinpoint where this communication is coming from, like your house, your computer, right? So at the way Tor works is that it has relays. So it goes from one IP address to another anonymous IP address, and it converts the IP address then to another one. So there's three loops. So the first, second, and third, and those servers might be in France and in Ireland, or whatever, right? It jumps from one place to place. So the Tor network is a little slower than the usual network, but then by the end, when the communication gets to the destination, it is completely, you can't backtrack it. You can't actually tell who sent it. You only know the source behind, but not the source before, and then before, and then before. So it makes it very secure. Although there is ways that, police and nations are able to snoop in to a certain degree, and get people caught, right? And
wow.
yeah, and then the Tor browsers, man, if I tell you, I've been there. I looked at the stuff as a cybersecurity analyst, right? And it is like Amazon. You know how in Amazon you actually go and purchase a product, and then you
Yeah,
see the reviews?
right.
It's the same thing. You go, and let's say you want to buy like illegal substances, or guns and stuff like that, and then you start looking at the different vendors, and then there is like 1,000 reviews of this vendor of how good the stuff is. So
Wow.
the criminal is going to be like, yeah, this guy is good. Like,
He's the
I'm
top
talking like
target.
Russian right now.
I was going to say, why did you change your tone?
Going
Your
to
whole
buy
voice.
on
It
this.
sounds legit now.
We're not saying that Russians are bad people. Just to put
No,
that.
no. They're only bad
Uh,
peasants. but not bad people, right? It's the government, and we don't want to get into this. Is a
No,
family
no politics. This is all
entertainment.
about a
I
fun,
do have another
interactive
question
show.
for you,
Boys are
Dan.
very nice.
All right,
Very
okay,
nice.
go
One
ahead.
more question before we proceed. Okay, so Layla Nasur, she says, "How can you protect your cryptocurrencies such as NFTs, etc.?" Good
Ah,
question, Layla.
First and foremost, don't
cryptocurrency.
buy them.
What? It's hot, man.
It's
That's Andrew's opinion, by the way.
That's my
Hey,
opinion, and it's a big mistake.
we're gonna get into like some fist fights in here because I really believe in the power of cryptocurrency. Why? Because I don't believe in central banking systems like bank. I mean, I do believe, but to a certain extent, there's so many problems with recessions and things that are going wrong. For example, remember 1998, the housing bubble and all, that was all Wall Street doing some weird stuff, and banks are involved in so many levels of our lives. Cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin, for example, is completely decentralized. So there's
Right.
no bank. So the bank exists across servers around the world. So
Well,
and the way it's protected is through encryption, right? Very strong encryption.
so it's a funny story. There was actually a football player
Thank you,
who
Alex.
he got a new contract with his team, and rather than take cash, he said, "Give it to me in cryptocurrency." So now, as it stands, it went from like a multi-million-dollar contract to like it's pretty much worth nothing. So
Yes.
there you go.
But what
Take
about
it.
those guys who bought pizza?
Volatile.
Remember 10 million, 10, he did what he did 10,000 Bitcoin, whatever, like in 19, what was it, 2010 or something? And he got two pizzas from it, and now it's worth like it was worth like $50 million or something silly.
So it's
I
kind
don't
of
know
like
if
the
you've seen
stock
that,
market
but
in a sense, right? It can go
it was a
either
very
way.
bad, very expensive pizza.
And you know what? You know what? Alex Ramirez is putting in there. Andrew has a point. It's a scam fest. And
Yep.
absolutely
Yep.
100% scam fest. Why? Because people don't understand what cryptocurrency is. So they're very susceptible to getting scammed, right? So we see scams, crypto scams going on all the time. And it's
And
because
so,
lack of understanding.
speaking of Putin, as you said, we don't want to talk about him any way, shape, or form because it's 100% negative.
We don't
But there is a controversy out there that he started Bitcoin, just so you know, to destroy our economy in West in North America. So just so we're do your own research.
I'll wait a few years before I start investing in.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy it. That's my opinion. I wouldn't do it. So
I love the comments, guys. Keep on coming. Keep on giving us those beautiful, amazing comments. What else do we have in there?
We're all good right now, but I'm sure we'll get
Okay,
some more interaction.
let's look at the some of the clips that I have that I
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this
sort
is
from hacking movies from the past and some of shows from the that I enjoy from
me too.
right?
1940s.
And make sure you guys out there, whoever's watching, write down the titles, and you should watch them because they're great movies. Movies from the 70s and the 80s were the best, I think. Anyways, they were great. But these are some of them are really great movies. They're really, really
Yeah,
great.
I wouldn't
content.
know about that, Andrew, but I'll take your word.
I'm an old. Hey, you can. What do you mean you wouldn't know that? You can watch old movies today, even as a young guy. I didn't say I went to the movie theater when they first were launched.
I'm just
but I could have. But I could have.
Okay, so if you guys can tell me what happens in this movie, I'm going to show you. And why is
You
it?
want us to answer or the crowd, just so we don't ruin it.
Yeah, if the crowd can answer, that would be better. Right?
Absolutely.
What happens in this movie and why this is a hacking movie? Okay,
Okay.
here we go.
I generally come in at least 15 minutes late. I use the side door. That way Lumberg can't see me. And after that, I just sort of space out for about an hour. Till I'm thirsty.
Hired.
Space out.
Yeah.
Who
I
remembers
just
this
stare
movie?
at my desk.
I do.
It looks like I'm working.
What is
I do
this?
that for probably another hour after lunch, too. I'd say in a given week, I probably only do about 15 minutes of real, actual work.
He's hired.
What movie is that? Can anybody guess what movie this is and why is it related to hacking?
I can, but I won't yet.
All right. Kevin says we're here. Pardon me, guys. My mouse is giving me issues. I'm going wireless, and it seems to be acting up today. So just bear
Mine
with
was
me.
too, actually. My battery
I'm gonna
for the
give you
show.
another clip of this movie, right?
Oh, we got somebody who answered it.
We got it. We got it. Hold on.
Another clip.
Okay, let's go with the clip and then we get the answers.
Get
Okay.
the answer. Okay, perfect.
Hello, Peter. What's happening? We have sort of a problem here. Yeah, you apparently didn't
All
put one
right.
of the new cover sheets on
There
your
we go.
TPS reports.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry about that. I forgot.
Yeah. You see, we're putting the cover sheets on all TPS reports now before they go out. Did you see the memo about this?
Yeah. I have the memo right here. I just forgot. But it's not shipping out till tomorrow, so there's no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could just go ahead and give me feedback from now on, that would be great. And I'll go ahead and make sure you get another copy of that memo. Okay?
Yeah, no.
All right. So, Alexis,
And
and just so you're aware, and Alexis, thank you for pointing that out.
Yes, I did see that too, actually. Yeah.
Thank you, Alexis.
thanks for pointing
Alexis
that
is really
out.
good at pointing out.
This is for you.
But still only one
Someone
person
did
posted
get
it.
Someone did get it, and this is a totally anonymous person that we don't know at all.
Exactly. We don't know her.
This is
Tamara,
Tamara.
thanks for joining us for the first time ever. We appreciate it.
Tamara.
Okay, so does anybody know why is it related to hacking? And if the crowd doesn't know, then Gladstone, do you know why it's related to hacking?
Why is it?
I know.
I don't know. Andrew, I think Andrew might know. I'm suspecting me
Give us a story, Andrew.
So what they did is they created an algorithm that would actually just take little tiny amounts of money from every transaction that the business had, and it was only supposed to be like hundredths of a penny. But what happened is, and they thought, okay, great, we're going to get a little bit of money. They're not going to notice. But after a couple of days, it was like a few $100,000 in their account, and then it kept continuing to grow. And so it was a hack that they built, and then it kind of backfired in a positive way. But as you saw from those clips, it's an amazing movie, and you got to watch it.
I totally remember. So that, like they needed to go into the office, and then they wanted to burn down the server, and then they took it, and then I remember they're in a field just whacking
it.
printer and like going like crazy over it. So to find to hide the evidence, I guess. So it was like so funny. So funny.
So Tamara says that movie is why I'm in nursing. I kind of want to know more.
I want to know more. Tamara, can you please continue with that? I'm curious as well.
How does that relate? I'm curious. Let us know. And then Miguel says, guys, do you see the movie Who Am I? No, what does it say? No system
is safe.
I
don't think we didn't choose that one for this. I'm gonna take a look at that.
Okay. Thanks, Miguel. We'll research.
Thanks, Miguel. We'll definitely look at it. Appreciate it.
Okay, so here's another clip. Okay,
right.
So let me hide the title so Alexis doesn't tell me that.
that someone has insider information.
Story. Alexis is actually one of our colleagues, and we often have some meetings, virtual meetings, and I'll be talking about something and demoing it, and then every time he gets me, he's like, "Yeah, you're not sharing your screen." So he's very good at pointing that out. So thanks, Alex.
Thanks, Alex. Dad, before you play this, just post Tamara's chat thing. It's
okay. I got it.
LOL. It turned me off working in an office.
There you go.
That's because of the TPS reports. Yeah. So just get the TPS. Yeah. And by the way, you're gonna have to work on Saturday. And come in on Sunday if that's okay. I'm gonna see you on Sunday if that's and make sure that TPS is filled out properly, please.
Andrew, what is
the stapler guy funnier, right? Like he's like, can I have my stapler?
The stapler guy, yeah, he was the best. What did you say, Glassstone?
What is a TPS report? Pardon me for not.
It was a report that I know they just called everybody, even in any office. You know what a TPS report is. I don't know what the acronym stands for, but I don't think. But everybody. I mean, I remember years ago. I worked in the corporate world, and it was everybody joked about. Can you make sure the TPS report please gets filled out today? And by the way, can you please come in on Saturday? And I'm going to need you Sunday as well. And so to Tamara's point, she didn't want to go into work in an office, but I bet you in nursing, Tamara, there's TPS reports at some point somewhere.
Gladstone, I gotta tell you, man, this is before your time. I think
Yeah.
you're a little
Well,
weak.
I've heard of Office Space, but again, yeah, you're right.
Great movie. Great
All
movie.
right.
Tamara continues to say, one second, Dan. OMG had nightmares about the TPS report. Well, there you have it. Thanks, Tamara.
All right, guys. So this is the second movie that I want to point out, and you guys out there, you got to tell me what's the significance of this movie. It's called V for Vendetta.
I think I do.
That man remains free is one more failure. 347 days, gentlemen. 347 failures.
Chancellor, we do not have the adequate force.
There. Okay, I'm gonna stop it there because the rest of the scene is going to give it out. So if you guys can tell me what's the significance of this movie.
What's the
I
name of the movie?
It's a V for
V for
Vendetta.
Vendetta.
V for
That
Dead.
movie
Okay.
I've seen, but I don't think I appreciated it at the time. Okay, so Miguel says the Guy Fawkes mask brand movie. What?
You don't even know. Gladstone. Yeah. Okay. So
I am. This is over my head, definitely. I know the mask.
the mask.
No, no.
This is Guy Fawkes, right? And
Oh, okay.
Guy Fawkes, and there's a story behind Guy Fawkes. All right, so he's from I think it's the 18th or 19th century, and he was one of these what do you call it, Robin Hood type of guys, and
Yeah.
he wanted to bomb. He wanted to do a coup on the Queen and King at that time in England, right? And the way he wanted to do it is he wanted to hack right into the train system and under the subway system, basically the metro, and he wanted to put bombs in it and explode, make the what do you call it, the Buckingham whatever explode. So there was this big conspiracy in he would wear that mask, right? And then what happened is that afterward, nowadays, when Anonymous came out, Anonymous at the beginning they were going to use other type of masks, so they were contemplating using like clown masks and also Batman,
What
because
about what
Batman,
about what
because
about Panda Bear mask, Stan? Because I think you have I just want to call you out on this because I thought maybe a Panda Bear mask was contemplated as well.
like
There
this.
there you go.
So, anyways, so it's a very interesting story. And Guy Fawkes, I hope I'm pronouncing it all correctly. I'm not saying
Family show.
it. So this guy was kind of like a Robin Hood. He wanted to overtake the government, etc. in England. And so Anonymous, they were thinking of using Batman masks because Batman is kind of a bad sort of superhero that's good, and he is against the rules in Gotham City, I guess.
Right.
So
Dark
that
with
was the other mask that they were
Vigilante.
considering, and they came up with these guy, right? And this is the actual face of this guy. It says, so okay. So in England, then after that happened, there's a Guy Fawkes day, right? So every year they started commemorating Guy Fawkes Day, and everybody would wear the mask and give out candy and stuff like that. And I think it's still in certain parts of England. It still is.
Is that unofficial, Dan? Because you mentioned he tried to overthrow the government, correct?
He tried to throw the government, and don't quote me on this because this is probably 90% false, but I'm just trying to remember and
90?
go back to the memories.
So
All
let's blip out all that segment. No.
So don't quote.
All the population, everybody, to start wearing those masks and do criminal activity. So that's and against the government, of course. So that's how the plot kind of. I don't want to give it out, so no spoilers in here.
Spoiler alert. Miguel has a comment here.
All right, Miguel, please.
Miguel Delgado. Okay, Miguel says he wanted to confront the English Senate by exploding the Senate with all the gazebos inside.
Wow.
Inside V, pardon me. All right. Thanks, Miguel.
Thanks, Miguel.
Thank you. Absolutely. All right, so I have another one here. If you want
I like these video
want me
clips.
to
I
show
feel
you,
like I'm
this is a show from Netflix. And if you can give me kind of like the relevance, why am I showing you? Obviously, this is hacking, and you'll see. But what is it about this show that makes it so special?
Okay. What's the deeper meaning, folks? Let's take a deep dive.
Oh yeah, Mr. Rope.
Okay.
because it's so real, so realistic.
Is that
Yep. He's got a twin brother. An actor.
he's a Canadian actor, this guy, isn't he? Remy
I'm
Malek,
not sure of that. I know he has a twin brother though.
is he? Okay. All right. We got a response here. So Tamara says, oh, this one.
this
I
one.
never asked so many questions while watching the movie. Okay.
You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Now we couldn't hear you before. No, we could just see. I didn't know if it was just playing it dark or because it was just dark. Like we could see the show playing. But were you speaking during it?
Is he frozen or is he just in shock? What's going on?
I think he could be in shock. I don't know. He's leaving us hanging here. Dan's having technical difficulties. Hopefully he's not being hacked.
Anonymous is hockey. Uh-oh. Guys, we may have to cut the show short. Can't hear you, Dan.
No, we can't hear you, buddy. This is a perfect example of technology and potentially being hacked or not.
Supposedly experts. So anybody there that has
we go. We fixed it. We
fixed it. Okay. I have my secondary source. So can you guys hear me?
We can hear you perfect. That was poetic.
Yes.
All right. Sean answers our question. So that guy played Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody. Absolutely.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. So that show is called Mr. Robot.
Yeah.
Right, and it is a show playing on Netflix for a few years already. And the significance about this show is that they hired a bunch of hackers to help with the scripts. So everything that you see in the show, the exploits and how they're using Kali systems and DDoS attacks and RCEs and all of that is very real. It's actually the stuff that happens in real life when people or companies or organizations are getting hacked and stuff like that, right? So that's why it's so significant.
Cool.
Very nice. Do you guys hear this?
No.
Oh man.
Uh-oh.
Our
soundboard has been shut down.
Okay. Shoot. Any other comments?
Not right now.
So Dan, I guess question for the audience and for whoever's watching. So I mean, we see all this stuff about hacking and we see about takeovers and we see about the history, which is fantastic. So, what is hacking kind of morphed into as far as on the business side of things? Because you hear about red hat and white hat and people being hired to help companies and stuff. Like, where is it kind of morphed to now? Like, where does hacking kind of it's multiple layers of hacking, right? Because there's different aspects of it.
So can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Can you hear this?
Yes.
Oh,
we're back.
Okay,
we're back.
I'm back. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Okay, I was getting worried. So yeah, in terms of hacking, there's different types of hackers, right? So you have what's called the black hat hacker, which is a malicious entity, scammers. There's scammers and hackers, right? There's a difference between scammers and hackers. Scammers go for the what's called a social engineering attacks, trying to steal credentials and like making calls to people and trying to get money by deception. So those are scammers. Hackers are actually people that are trying to exploit systems, and those are the kind of like nerdy guys that try to get into systems. They work in different time zones also. So the normal scammer works on during business hours because they're trying to call people and deceive people. The bad hackers, the actual hackers, they work overnight because they know that everybody's sleeping, so they try to get into computers when people are sleeping. So then you have the black hats, right? Black hats like my hat here, but I'm not a black hat, right? So those are bad hackers. Those are the bad hackers. Then you have the white hats, right? So the white hats are basically, and I think I'm answering Oscar's question in there. The black hats are the bad ones. The white ones, the white hats are the good hackers like ourselves. We're ethical hackers. And then you have gray hackers, which are, for example, they They do good things, like they work for companies to try to as hackers, but at night they might do other malicious stuff
Mm.
by themselves. So those are kind of gray,
Ah, they're
right?
right in the middle.
Yeah. And then you have script kiddies, right? Script kiddies are basically people that, and usually that's why they're called kiddies, is teenagers and maybe not so teenagers, that they are into cybersecurity and they want to learn more, but they just go to GitHub, get the scripts, and try to run them and see if they can do some sort of damage just because it's cool. So those
Right.
are kind of like script kiddies. And then you have the hacktivists. Now the hacktivists are like anonymous, right? So which they have some sort of agenda that they are going after. So those are the different types of hackers in the world.
So we got,
And I'm missing one of them, huge one. Do you think you know what it is?
no, please tell us.
Give guess.
So you said we have the white hat, black hat, gray
Yes.
hat,
Yeah.
red hat. I don't know.
Red Hat is actually a Linux
Is it
distribution.
Really?
distributor? Exactly. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
black, gray, white. We have a good
Nation.
question
It's
from
called
from a-
nation states.
Oh, okay.
Nation states. So actual, China's a big one. Remember the North Korea and WannaCry ransomware attacks?
Right.
Those are nation states. Russia, the U.S. These are enormous entities where they're concerned. For example, China, what they do is try to get intellectual property from different companies in the states, right? So that's what they're after. Um, Spine, all of that, all kinds of like Cold War stuff
Yeah.
happening right now, right?
So we do have another question.
Yeah, there's one from
Tamara got
Pippa,
a
a
few-
new
she got a
new
few
person, I
comments.
think.
So she
Script
thought you
kiddy.
said kitty, so she was thinking of a cat.
Gladstone, post the one
Kiddy.
from Pippa. It's a
Yep.
new person.
So we
Th-
do
this
have a
is this is for you. This is for you, Tamara.
Boom, boom.
yeah.
There you go.
Well, I don't recognize Pippa actually. So welcome, Pippa. If
Yeah.
this is your first time, hopefully you enjoy the show and you keep coming back every Friday.
Yep. So
Alright.
Pippa asked,
Thanks for the
"Hey
question.
guys, I'm curious. Would you class the great Ludini as a gray hacker?" Jan?
Londini, the great Londini. I have no idea who the great Londini is.
Let's Google that real quick. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure either. And my apologies, Pippa.
The great Londini. Oh, protectors of the innocent and a positive movement. So I guess it's a movement. Okay, I think I know what you're talking about, Peppa. Instagram. You're talking about Instagram. There's a social an influencer that goes after bullies, right? I think that's the great Lundini. And what is she saying?
She's
So
from
she said she's
Honeypot.
from Honeypot.
Now I remember. Actually, she has been here before. We
And
had
yeah, you would be
That's
a
right.
hacker. All right. Thank you so much.
Yes. Yeah, so basically, and he's had a huge following in TikTok, and sometimes I'm watching. He wears this kind of like sort of anonymous mask. He's got a different type of mask, and he goes after bullies and stalkers and bad people like that.
Okay, we have Sean here. Sean's a good
unmasked
researcher,
trolls and
apparently.
cyber.
So Sean says the
Cyberbullies.
group named the Great Londini have set out to use their skills to unmask trolls and cyberbullies in an attempt to end
And
online
online bullying.
All right.
Yeah.
That's
That's
pretty
great.
noble.
It's great. Yeah, and great that you brought it forward, Pippa, and thanks, Sean, for bringing that up. That's fantastic. And just a shout out to Honeypot, guys. Great marketing organization out of Toronto. Fantastic company that we've worked with in the past. We've had actually their owner on our show. So thanks, Pippa, for joining us and asking that question.
Absolutely.
Yes. So but okay, there's controversy. That's why Peppa is saying this, because
Exactly, yeah.
you see that according to the rule of law, you're innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And
they're
and so sometimes some of the groups, they go overboard, right? They shame. Their tactics are very very
Doxing people as well.
yeah, and sometimes the people might be innocent. I don't know, right? But that's why it's like, yeah, it's good, it's awesome, Robin Hoods. But in the same token,
you could be
if you're
ridiculed or prosecuted without due process, and that's the only
Yes.
problem.
That actually brings me to a question, right? So basically, these people are all like vigilantes, which in its essence, it's criminal, right? It's illegal, right? You can't take the
Yes.
laws into your own hands. But is there an organization or is there a country? I know the United States is probably taking the lead on this. That's gonna try to police the internet. Is that something that is gonna happen at some point? You know, Dan?
What do you mean it's done?
Well, what year are you on, man?
Yeah, it
That's
happens.
already happening.
There's
Really?
there's departments, there's companies, there's staffing, there's all day, every day, 24/7 policing the internet and what happens on it.
So
Yeah,
what would
I
that
don't. I,
organization
I don't know. I don't know if you remember WikiLeaks, right?
right?
In
Julian
um,
Assange, all that stuff.
exactly, and what happened with the NSA and how a whistleblower went on public saying that the NSA was hacking every single phone, and they had access to everybody in the whole country in the states, right? So that kind of stuff, I think it's already
Well, there was
happening.
a movie with was it Snowden or Snowden? Was another
Edward Snowden, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
another big controversial where whistleblowing and then had to move to Russia to escape prosecution and all kinds of stuff. It was crazy. Yeah, but absolutely,
All right.
a lot of companies, a lot of things being policed constantly.
No,
Okay.
I meant like they're like a central organization. You know how you have the CIA, you have the FBI, RCMP, all that stuff. Is there a specific?
Internally, there is
Yes.
cybersecurity divisions. Yes.
Yeah, FBI, CIA, they all investigate,
Yeah.
and they have departments that are part of the cybersecurity defense and stuff
You
like
can go to
that.
your local police station; they'll have
Yes.
a cybersecurity division.
Yes, absolutely. Go to your local police, call the police. You might not call the 911 if it is an emergency. Of course, you do, but you can call police, and then they will reroute you to or put you in
Cybersecurity.
contact with the cybersecurity division, which is growing, by the way. So
Yeah.
it's every day is growing. They're bringing in more people, more technical people, especially when you want to catch really bad stuff. Like pornography and child pornography and stuff like that, right? So which is very important. So yeah, so if you doubt it, just call the police and ask them.
Absolutely.
That's what we've actually told some people that have called Rhino Cybersecurity because they've been scammed or they've been hacked into their computers. We tell them right away, don't destroy the evidence, don't reformat your computer, just leave the stuff the way it is, just shut it off from the internet, turn it off, call the police, let them take the evidence with them, and then they'll be able to investigate farther, right? So to what extent does that work? I don't know, man.
Either. Yeah.
I don't know. All right.
And all right. Sorry, go ahead, Dan.
I have another clip, so do you want to finish your thought?
Yeah, let's finish. I love the clips. They're great.
Okay.
I don't hope it's the net. I'm not sure. The one with
Okay,
Angelina
this one is
Jolie.
one of my favorite movies, 1980s, of course.
Oh, I know this one too. Yeah.
Let me know if you hear this, okay?
No.
No.
Can you hear now?
No. Unfortunately. Cookies.
Ah,
You got to know this movie though. Come on.
yeah. So you guys can't hear it, eh?
I can't hear it, unfortunately.
Yeah, you see the little cookies moving in there, and he's like, "What do I do?" And he's like, "Type cookie, you idiot." So this is a classic, right? This is Hackers, right? 1990s. This is a movie clip from the movie Hackers, which was pretty popular. It's too bad that you guys can't hear this. So, what is the significance of this movie? If anybody tell us?
Isn't Angelina Jolie one of the stars in that one, if I remember correctly, when she was really young?
That's exactly it. No, I'm just kidding.
That's the significance of this movie.
100% Angelina Jolie, starting as her acting career in this movie. Yeah, there's no significance. It's just one of my favorite movies. So I threw it in there. It's a pretty good
War
one.
Games is another really good one. The Net's another good one. There's a bunch of really good hacker shows that you can Google and watch, and they're informative and they're realistic, and some of them were very much ahead of their time, but some really informative stuff and good entertainment.
All right, guys. So thank you so much for joining us. And I don't know, can you hear this?
Boom.
Sure.
All right, so I leave you with this music. So thanks for joining us next week, Friday, 12 o'clock. LinkedIn Live, Facebook Live, all the lives, right? Including YouTube. That's our main channel. So make sure you follow us and you tune in next week.
All right.
Thank you,
Beautiful.
guys.
Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. That was a fun show.
Hey, guys.
Absolutely, Lena. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.